Hello everyone, welcome to CommerceNet Scholars. I hope you all are perfectly fit and fine and you are being regular with the studies. In today's video, we'll discuss about the role of private sector and the role of public sector in our economy, as well as we'll also know the differences between the two, what are the basic criteria on which these two are differentiated or distinguished from each other. At the same time, we'll also understand the meaning of the cooperative sector. So basically, we'll understand the meaning of all the three sectors and the basic differences between the private and the public sector. So let's start with today's video and start with the first meaning or the first definition, that is the public sector. What a public sector is, in simple words, you can understand any enterprise that is owned by the government or the majority shareholdings are there with the government. That enterprise or that organization is referred to as a public sector organization or public sector enterprise. More than majority shareholding means more than 50%. Even if it is 51%, the organization will be referred to as a public sector organization. So the definition goes on: a public sector enterprise or a public enterprise is one which is owned, managed and controlled by the central government or any state government or any local authority. Either the organization or enterprise is going to be owned by the central government, by the state government, or by any local authority that again is a part of the government of the country. So that will constitute your public sector enterprise. Now, what are the different names for a public sector enterprise? They are also known as public undertakings. The form of organizing public enterprise are departmental undertakings, public corporations and government companies. Whatever departmental undertakings are there, whatever public corporations are there, and whatever government companies are there, all that are referred to as public sector enterprises. Simple words, I have told you the meaning: any organization owned by the government or wherein the majority shareholding, that is 51, more than 50%, 51% or so on, is held by the government of that particular country, state or area. I hope it's clear. Moving further to the private sector. A private sector consists of business activity that is owned and run by private individuals. Now herein the majority shareholding lies with the private players, the private investors. They are going to have the majority shareholding within the enterprise. These businesses can be small firms owned by just one person or a large multinational businesses that operate around the world globally. In the case of large businesses, there might be many thousands of owners involved. The goal of businesses in the private sector is to make profit. This is the basic objective of the organizations that are working in a private sector. You can say any person who is having a sole proprietorship or he is getting into a partnership, anything that is run at your individual level where there is no involvement of the government, you are not having any shareholding with the government, that can be referred to as a private enterprise. Even if you talk about a general store that might be running near your house, even that is an example of a private undertaking, right? So the basic objective of the private sector enterprises is earning of profit. Now, talking about the cooperative sectors, an industrial cooperative is an association of workers and craftsmen involved in cottage or village industries. Now, cooperative sector is basically going to focus upon the cottage or village industries who come together to undertake collective production, processing and marketing of goods manufactured by the members and provide them with necessary services and assistance. There is a group of people who are coming together, who are entering into cooperation, and they are manufacturing goods and services that can be produced at the local or rural level, and hence these are referred to as the cottage or village industries that are basically set up in the rural or backward areas. It can be defined as a cooperative organized by workers, controlled by workers and managed by workers for meeting their common purpose. Now, who has the authority over here? The workers that are there in the organization. in the cooperative organization, in the cooperative sector. Basically a few group of people, you can say, came together and they decided that we'll be manufacturing so and so product. So now they have decided manufacturing, and ultimately what happens, whatever decisions have been taken, they are taken by those workers only. The entire chain of distribution and all, everything is being controlled by the worker only, and the entire work is also managed by the workers only for meeting a common purpose, that is basically survival. And once the business grows, once the business is stable, it becomes earning more profits. Next, thus the prime objective of an industrial cooperative is to benefit the workers socially and economically. Obviously, when we are talking about the rural or backward areas, it's but obvious that the people do not have a better standard of living or a better livelihood. So the basic objective of the cooperative sectors becomes to provide a better livelihood and provide some social and economical or financial assistance to the workers, so that they can improve their social and economical condition while surviving. So this was all about the three sectors, that is the public, private and cooperative sectors. I hope it is clear to you all. Moving towards the definitions, the differences between the public and the private sector. Talking about the meaning of the public and private sector, I hope it has been clear to you all. Public sector, majority shareholdings with the government, and private sector, majority shareholdings with the private players. Now the basic objective is to serve the citizens as of public sector is concerned. As far as public sector is concerned, the basic objective is to serve the citizens, whereas for private enterprises it is to earn profit. Now how does public sector earn money, raise money? Through public revenue like tax, duty, penalty, etc. Whatever taxes we are paying, whatever duties we pay, whatever penalty has been charged from us, all that is a source of income for the public sector organizations. While for private sector organizations, it raises money by issuing shares and debentures or by taking loans. Either the firm is going to issue shares or debentures, or it is going to avail for the loan facility to raise money. Now what are the different areas that come under public and private sector? For public sector we have police, army, mining, health, manufacturing, electricity, education, transport, telecommunication, agriculture, banking, insurance, railways. All that is going to come under public sector organizations as of our country is concerned. Talking about the private sector, we'll have finance facilities, information technology, mining, again transport, we have private transports also, we have private education also, telecommunication we do have private, manufacturing, banking, we have private banks as well, construction, pharmaceuticals, etc. That all will be coming under private sector enterprises. Now benefits of working. Whenever you are working in a public sector organization, what benefits you get? First is job security, but obvious people are aspiring to get a public job or a job in the public sector or a government job, because this is a well-known fact that you have job security. You will not be terminated for X and Y reason the next day you join. So this is one of the basic factors of public sector enterprises. Then we have retirement benefits, the pension and all that we get, the different allowances that we get, dearness allowance, house rent allowance, the extra perquisites you get, the bonus and all. You keep getting. All those whose parents or some family member has been employed in a public sector enterprise, they must be knowing how many benefits you get. It's but obvious. Now talking about the private sector, the benefits are good salary package. Yeah, this is quite obvious that in comparison to some sectors of the public sector, private sector is offering you better salary. Then competitive environment, because everybody has that fear of job security, everybody wants to sustain and survive himself or herself, so there is a nature of competition around. So everybody who is into private sector must be well aware that the competition factor is really relevant, and the incentives that you get whenever you are achieving a target, you get some bonus, you get some perks, etc. Now basis of promotion in public sector is seniority. Whoever is senior will be getting the promotion, while in private sector merit is the basis of promotion. Whoever has better work performance or whoever has displayed a better performance in the past a few years or past few months would be promoted to a better place. Talking about job stability, yes, there it exists job stability in a public sector, but talking about the private sector, if you do not talk about two big enterprises, job security or job stability is a factor that constitutes a negative aspect of private sector. It is quite dicey. Another difference that I want to tell you all about public and private sector is about the minimum and maximum number of members. Talking about the public sector, the minimum number of members is 7 and there is no restriction on the maximum number of members. Please do remember, minimum is 7 for public and maximum is no restriction. Whereas private sector, minimum is 2 and maximum is 200 now. Earlier it was 50, but now after an amendment it is 200. So please do not get confused. Please do not write there are 50 maximum number of members in private sector. Public and private, minimum public 7, private 2. Maximum public, no restriction. Maximum private, 200. I hope it is clear to you all. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.